And I think it's recording now.
Alright.
It doesn't look broken or anything. And there's no syncing to do since we're in the same room now. Because I don't know if San Antonio is smart or stupid. I just don't.
What do you mean by that?
Because, like, as far as as far as
Start picking at everything. Starts digging into the walls.
I just tear apart your drawers.
Oh no, that'd be awful.
Because as far as quarantine goes, we really should kind of like stay away from people for a lot longer. I'm just gonna make sure that my father hasn't been like, come home. Nope. Nothing.
Gary, come home.
Gary, come home.
Okay.
It's there in case it buzzes. I can look at it.
I should say what city we're in. That might be a bit of an issue.
Just San Antonio. It's kind of big place.
Boy.
If they find our IP address, they find our IP address.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, but see, the thing is, God, what they've done is they've kind of like halfway lifted quarantines. So now, like, small businesses are to
just
follow.
quarter of the way. Because they were going to do it quarter of the way and then kind of take a bit of a, wait a bit, see how cases come in.
Yes.
Yeah, but as far as, I mean,
we're together. It's not illegal anymore.
We're back. We're with the second episode of the podcast. Admittedly, a week later than I think you nor I would have liked for it to. But I mean, seems like the views for the first episode are pretty solid for a first episode. I mean, 38 whole views. 38 people.
And we got subscribers. People subscribe.
So thank you, all 6.5 of you.
Yes, all 6.5 of you. We're so glad to have you come over and hit that button. But back to what I was saying, the city kind of like opened the city up just a little bit to see how their cases would come in. And I mean, we do still need to like fully quarantine for, I'd say, a lot longer. But screw it. I'm gonna just follow the law and do nothing else.
Yeah. It gives me more time to perfect my communist regime in Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Purgatory it's not gonna perfect itself.
You forgot to pose it as a question.
Sorry, Purgatory question mark. Is that better?
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to banish you from this realm. Heresy.
I pull out a sword in response.
What are you gonna do? Cut the individual pellets?
Yes, I am!
Yes!
Oh my word.
If you want to know about half the references, make sure you watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Just harm their ears. You just crawl through the headphones and just make sure you watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You want to get the references.
Half of that didn't even register.
That's fine. It wasn't meant to register. I don't want to get all the way up to the mic. That'd be a bit whack, all things considered.
I almost accidentally closed the window.
That's unfortunate. Alright, so what are we to talk about?
Well, we could talk about simple things. We don't really have to talk about anything specific. That's not what this podcast is about.
Yeah, but I mean, well, conversation is necessary to actually have the podcast. I don't think that we don't necessarily have.
It doesn't have to be specific.
Well, yeah, you're right, but I mean, let's start somewhere.
You know what we could do, though, is while you guys are waiting for us to get our brains active, we could just have Jeopardy music for y'all.
I only have dial-up sounds.
We'll play plays in my head is Jeopardy music while I'm trying to figure out what the hell to say.
Yeah. I just have dial-up sounds.
Dial-up sounds. That's not dial-up.
I can't mimic the many the many sounds that come along with dial-up. Well, I have something we could potentially talk about. I mean, in Persona 5, I'm working through the 6th palace really well. I went through and I finished up like it's separated into floors, right? And I beat like the 2nd floor, and I ended up having to stop on the start of like the 3rd and almost final floor. And what should I call it? I'm doing so well that I think I can easily like clear the palace up to the point to where I can just beat the bones out of the boss the next day.
Why is this so loose?
I don't know. That's just how it is.
Well, I don't like it being loosey-goosey. It makes me anxious.
You just go through and
It
fix
makes disgusting. Why?
I don't know. It just broke like that.
It literally broke. It broke.
For the poor people out there who legitimately can't see this, I have an old desk that I use. We're over at my abode recording this, and yeah, one of the knobs for the drawers on my desk,
It came off.
it just does that. It used to be over here, but I just switched it. It's fine. Just put it back on. I don't open that drawer anyway. That's just a junk drawer.
Why don't you throw away your junk?
Yeah.
Or do you put your other junk in it?
What junk? I don't appreciate that, young man.
Well, you don't.
Forgive me, I'm trying to find out who asked.
I did. Yes. Keyboard. You put it.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyway, Randy, since the last time that we had the cast, how have you been?
Well, I've been okay. Right now, for some reason, there are 2 places in my body with unexplainable pain. Okay, so more recently is kind of the back right corner of my neck, right?
Mhm.
But then I also it's like some random creature tried stealing one of my toes.
Oh.
Because it kind of stings almost like it was attempted to be cut.
That's
Kind of
odd.
weird.
Yeah.
What random like non-human creature would want to steal my toes?
I don't know, dog. Maybe it's that being from the nth dimension.
Yep. It just created a portal, but I pulled away as soon as it tried.
Same the one that keeps coming after me every time I drop the soap.
Yes, no matter what you do, the being from the nth dimension can portal anywhere.
Yeah. That's how it always starts.
Mm-hmm. And it always ends with the shadow cock.
Give me a break.
Good grief.
I have a feeling this podcast is just going to be you and I just laughing through most of it.
Yep.
Laughing to fill time.
Yeah, we're also going to be laughing because of the high spirits from actually being able to speak to each other.
Present. In the flesh.
He's here. He's real. He's not Wyoming.
I am Wyoming. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. I am Wyoming.
Damn it!
No.
I don't know which side has the empty space. I'm just beating the bones out of my computer hardware. This utterly awkward silence has been brought to you by NordVPN.
And by our other sponsor. And this sponsorship interruption was also brought to you by our other sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends is a turn-based multiplayer
You just got the whole spiel. Oh man, that's something that we talked, I think, in the podcast. That's just not going to happen. That we're not going to release. That's a conversation or a little bit that I loved.
NordVPN.
One thing from that Lost Cat on from the Lost Cast that I think would be worth talking about here is potentially leveling friendship. I was interested to hear your stance on that, or like your for lack of a better term, advice.
Well, see, the thing is, most people can tell that there's a way, like, that you can level friendship because you have your first level in the first place. That's the hard part. The easy part is leveling. Now, the way that I tend to level is I've done it with I've like actively pursued it with 2 people so far. I'm pretty sure that you know one of them, but then the other one's like complete fringe friend in terms of our circle.
Fringe friend?
Yes, because like, okay, so I'm going to say a real person's name, and it's going to kind of suck, but Anne-Marie. That's someone I've leveled friendship with, and someone she knows is named Amelia, right? Okay. And I've leveled friendship actively with both of these people. Why is this like this?
It's no, don't do that. That's actually an old thing. That
how old?
I don't like. I can't remember, but that's like.
It's already so damaged.
It's really old though. Yes. All I know is that I've been told the age of it before, but it should.
So years or decades?
Oh, decades.
Yep,
I'll have to ask later.
Better not punch.
Yeah,
there's no reason to. Decades is already enough.
I desire to know. Oh man, let me show you this funny here. One more time?
Yeah, sure.
I love this so much. It's bad, but it's so good. It's so
Switch. There's no. Wait, Iggy! Be careful! He's still alive! It's just.
It's just. Yeah. Alright, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah,
leveling friendship, right. Okay, so, but the way. So the way that I've actively pursued it with the 2 people that I have actually gotten some serious levels with, you just have to, like, you make time for them. If you don't do that, and you're not too good at passively leveling, then you're not going to get anywhere. It's that simple. If you just find time, it's usually not going to be enough to truly level. You have to make it. You have to shift your schedule for them. You have to. You have to pose like the ideas to them. You have to.
It's just about like putting in the effort.
It's all yes. Spend time with them. Spend it. Time is money, but you're not buying an item with it. You're buying trust. You're buying pretty much like you're buying the friend with your time. That's what it is. And if you aren't willing to make the purchase, then that's another piece of merchandise you'll miss.
Oh, that's actually great. It's a great line. It's a beautiful duang.
It is a beautiful duang. It's just like a line that I'll never get to use because no one into me like that is, this isn't a fucking anime. And we're not high school children in it. Say how you feel.
Yeah. I mean,
I always come up with beautiful Dwang lines that I never get to use.
The Randy book of
beautiful Dwang lines.
Oh no, that'd be
Dwang lines that make it beautiful.
Or
lines that make it a truly beautiful Dwang.
Oh no, it's actually pretty great though. It's just a picture of you in like a lab coat and glasses. I actually have a lab coat here. We could demo that.
Fuck yeah. No, we have it be the thumbnail. How long has this been going for now? 7 minutes.
We've got.
We've been recording for around 15. Something like that.
Yeah, you're right. I forget that we.
And then we cut it for a little bit because I had been banging my laptop and yelling, "Damn it!"
Repent! Repent!
Time to cleanse this land of heresy. Deus Vult!
I don't know. What is something that what should we call it? Something I think is a benefit to having like a large group of friends that you're like, legitimate friends with like what we have. And it's something that I can tell, or something that I can tell that I have like a good friend in somebody or a group of people, is I don't feel alone whenever I'm like talking to them or spending time with them. I feel like that's an issue that I run into with people who are like tend to be more acquaintances. Is I can like talk to them, but I don't feel like I'm their primary focus, and I wind up just kind of feeling like like I'm alone even though I'm with somebody else. And I mean, I think maybe part of that is just, a side effect of me and this noggin up here.
Of course. It's one of the barriers to forming any kind of relationship, whether it's romantic, platonic, or hateful. Who knows? And they all kind of come hand in hand. Like, they're all paths. Well, it's one big path. Unless you want to stop somewhere. It's the biggest barrier happens to be yourself. And it also happens to be at the beginning. Like, because acquaintanceship isn't necessarily a relationship. It's, the name and like a couple other tidbits. But when you really get to knowing someone is when you start digging into their personality and their genuine interests. Because people will tell you things like, "Oh, I'm into cars," but like once that's not enough for me. What I usually look for is why they're into cars, what about cars they're into. You got to start digging. You got to start finding the person.
So essentially, finding out their interest is only half of the equation. The rest of it should be,
the more nitty gritty.
Yeah, or more or less, you find out more about the person through the why.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the what, but the why.
Of course.
And if you have the time,
why,
maybe the when.
Mm-hmm. The when.
Yeah, when did they? When did they?
I feel like that's a little easier than the why.
Well, I mean, that's why I phrased it as if you have time. But the what and why are the two most important. The when is just I guess you could say, a bit of conversational flavor.
Mm-hmm. And you don't dig to the why. You don't just be like, why are you into cars? Because that's going to be an impossible find. What you're really going to try to do is, like, I keep looking at your Back to the Future Hot Wheels.
Hey man, it's a collection, dog. I love Back to the Future. I mean, when I was younger, that was where it was at for me. Mm. Even today, I still think that despite just how whack the movies are, it still means a lot to me. But go on.
So a couple of so if one of these things don't work for you, that's fine. It's not meant to be a cure-all for leveling friendship. And as you can see, if you don't phrase it that way, it probably won't work for you either. That's kind of like whenever I say things to my friends and it catches, that's because that sector of personality is also something that they share. And that's how I make my strongest friendships. It's because I say something and then, take like a couple days of saying it. Like, the way I know it'll catch is my older brother. He says this thing whenever I say something really like quote worthy. He's like, that's our thing. And at his old work, they started out with bitch, and then it went to "buh," and then eventually it just degraded into "oh, oh."
Sound like an orangutan.
Orangutan. I think that's all monkeys.
Oh, well, I mean, anyway. But I think that an important...
And
Sorry, go on.
he stopped doing the "oh" thing. It just it's not really a natural sound for a person to make, you know? It was just funny to him at the time. But the way that I'll know is that it catches with him is he says, "Eh!" That's just the way we communicate. I don't know how we're that close. It might just be the fact that he bullied me. How to get close to your brother? Step one: bully the fucking shit out of them.
And remember, boys and guys and gals, this doesn't apply to outside. I've been bullied in the past, and that did not yield the fruits of friendship. It sowed the
No,
seeds.
it's supposed to yield the fruits of brothership.
Yeah, but I mean, in my case, it only
It
only sowed the seeds of dissent.
Yeah,
And
it
making
will
me
not
want
work for any. It won't work for most people. You have to be the kind of person that gets stronger. Here, let me just look at my desktop again. That gets stronger from pain, from abuse. Because if you don't do that, then you're just going to hate your bullies.
Yeah.
Mm.
But then again, I mean, I think that an important aspect of leveling friendship is maybe just kind of accepting that you can, put forth all the effort in the world and, dedicate your time to someone, but it won't always happen that they will want to dedicate all their time to you.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, and just the fact that maybe some people, I don't quite know if I believe that some people just aren't compatible. I think that with compromise and effort from both parties, a friendship can still be found.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's just it's. I think that here I'm putting it in air quotes here with my fingers. Incompatible stems from trying to break through someone who's really, really nasty towards everyone as a kind of natural kind of. Well, why can I never find the words? As like a natural state of being. And usually, whenever someone's just naturally a nasty person, it's not their fault. It's their coping mechanism. When they don't do it, they suffer. Um, I've been talking too long.
No, you're good.
My sugar's getting low. I'm dying.
You just fall out. It's the halfway point in the cast.
Oh God, I got type 1.
It's the halfway point of the cast, and you just fall on the ground. You're just gone from this world.
I went to the outer planes.
I thought I like tried to help you, and I accidentally clipped through the world and wind up in the back rooms. No,
You end up in the server rack.
no, I wind up in the power lines.
No, you just you accidentally activated cheat code by trying to help me, and then you just end up at the server racks. You're just like, wait, where the fuck am I?
Wait, what's this? Guys, hello?
Then you touch one of them and you're back, but it's like 4 hours earlier.
Not 4 hours later, I'm like, but I what?
No. And then someone comes to check on us, but it's just you and me frozen in time.
They can walk through us.
Oh
no.
man.
Speaking of whack things happening, I think if I were to go on well, for lack of a better term, a bizarre adventure with someone, I think I'd prefer it to be you just for funny, and I think that you and I would make a legitimately good duo, and in case of bizarre circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing about that. As far as Bizarre Adventures is concerned, I might look the part, but I'm not actually too good with danger.
How so?
I freeze up.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm already kind of a slouch when it comes to composure in front of crowds, but like in front of something that's out to steal my heart and crush it before my eyes. I I I just don't do good when there's actual fear. Like something that I'm really scared of is losing my fingers. Because that just sucks. It's not a matter of like, oh God, my fingers. It's just, how can I do without them?
They're your fingies.
I can't. Like the thing about me is that I have. All right, so this is going to get really graphic really fast. But I'm at peace with the fact that I have not too much down there. But to get serious again, so the way that I have decided that I'll go about like truly pleasing women is with these twiddly things on my hands, my fingers, because you can just do so much more with them. There's only one way you could touch a woman with your penis.
Speculation.
We need to throw a picture of that in there.
You're good.
All right, we should do it after that.
I'll just take a photo and insert it.
All right. But if I lose my fingers, then I'm also unable. Then I'm first of all, I'm unable to please a woman. That's kind of big for me. Well, it's not too big for me. It's remember wholesome. Wholesomeness first.
The Tangents podcast where I'm insulted by my co-host.
Okay, hold on. Wholesomeness first, horny second. That's the way I go about things.
This is why we're not horny on Maine.
Yes, this is why we're not horny on Maine. To an extent, we're some good boys.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I put it that way.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it.
We're the good old boys.
But the thing is, like, in order to like sustain a relationship, you can't just do wholesomeness.
Yeah.
You can't.
Wait, you can't?
Yes. You must engage in hand-holding at some point before marriage.
I'm ready. Randy, I don't think I'm ready. Randy, I can't.
Aaron, it's okay. It's okay. She wants it. You want it. Just do it.
You want it? It's okay. She wants it. You want it. What?
There's no barrier. God says it's okay.
Man, but I'd actually have to reach the point with the one when hand holding is like on the table. I won't lie, I actually think that would be delightful. Is just going for like a walk in the park, hand holding, and I'm a degenerate. Randy, I'm
disgusting. I bet you like hugs from behind too.
Not that. That's a bit too. That's a bit too. That's a bit too extreme for my tastes.
I love the tangent we went off on. Hey!
We're in, boys. We did it. We said it. Screaming.
That's it, boys. He's out. Bail.
Man, that'd actually be a fun way to end it. Just, all right, boys, we're out. Bail.
All right, boys, we're out. Bail.
Man, but yeah, we definitely we went from talking about like
leveling friendship to
hand holding
to nasty wholesomeness.
Well, okay. In all seriousness, though, I think there's like, is it just me or is like a bit of like, is it just the cynical?
Oh, I know how we got here now.
I think we got in the car.
We were talking. No,
we didn't. We didn't get in the car.
No, we walked here.
I thought I floated. Did I? You just cut to like a news channel. It's just local man.
No, I know exactly how we got here.
Like a plank of wood.
I know how we got here. Actually, it's see, I was talking about leveling friendship, and then I kind of ran out of air because I was talking too much.
Photosynthesize then.
And then I was talking about dying. Then we talked about bizarre adventures. Then I talked about fear and why I'm scared of losing my fingers. And every time to get back to what I was talking about, every time I see something where just the fingers are severed, it's kind of like unsettling for me. It shakes my core.
So would you prefer like the whole hand?
Yeah, because then your whole hand's gone. There's like it's harder to miss.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you lose your palm,
It's
then you
because
can't
it's
clap.
still no. You can still clap sheep.
I'm not in the game for that. Randy. Dang it, I
Neither
said
am
it.
I.
I did it.
Yep, we can just we can edit over Randy.
Yeah, I'm not in the game for that. Randy. Choose your fighter. Aaron. Randy. Round one. Fight. Nah, but
Shit!
everyone within like a 3 mile radius. Oh no, it's the what? What are
Oh
the
god damn it! It's the Japs.
bears in the trees?
What are the gooks doing here? I thought it was just the sword wielders.
Talk about that. Oh no!
Oddly enough, I got that term from Pulp Fiction.
Candace podcast episode 2, the racist one.
Oddly enough, though, I got the term gook from Pulp Fiction,
I've never
like the
actually seen
movie.
that.
Yeah, it's an important piece of culture, but I'm not gonna force you.
No, I'll watch it eventually. It's just it's something that like as a child I wanted to watch it because well, it was like I mean, mother, father, laugh. Me like to laugh too. I want to laugh. And then they're like, no, you're too young, son. Maybe when you're older. And it's
Now
the
you're
same now.
older, and
I have the time, but I mean, I don't know.
yeah,
I think that happens that happens like quite a fair bit to me though. Is like I think back on things that I like really wanted to do when I was younger, and nowadays like now that I have I have like the ability, not necessarily opportunity, but the ability to do so. I don't quite follow through. Well, that's just unfortunate.
yeah. I think that's kind of a common theme between most people. Man,
But I think that's
I
more or
wish
less
my
just.
recycle bin was still circular on my PC. Now look at it; it's a nasty rectangle.
I don't think that rectangles are inherently bad, but I mean, after all,
It's
that's where the golden ratio can be found for the spin.
yes. I'm just sitting in the recycle bin, spinning steel balls around.
Our viewers screeching like madmen. He's in, boys. He did it. He made the JoJo reference. Nah, but Infinity Dog. I don't know why, but I really love the concept of infinity because I think that like as like a source of like as a foundation for like storytelling, I feel like or like centering a story around the concept of infinity. I think that that's like something that you'd have to handle really badly or you'd have to be a really bad writer for it to not turn out well just because there's something I think inherently beautiful about the concept of infinity and there's something extremely simplistic about the concept of infinity as long as you don't do anything like try to talk about super tasks. Do you know what super tasks are?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have an idea of what they are.
I too have seen a Vsauce video on it.
Yes. It's
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. Why am I on the Tangent Podcast and why aren't you in my pocket?
what are you doing? Get out of here, Michael.
Oh no.
I've got a spoon.
Don't worry about it. I actually have a spoon in here, but I won't get it out.
I've got a spoon and I'm not afraid to use it in a lethal manner.
I've got a shovel and I'm not afraid to use it.
Because you a simp, son.
No, I'm not a simp.
You're a simp for the Lord, and that's okay.
Daryl, he's a simp.
Of course he is.
Simp detected.
Moving to
Wait.
exterminate.
You and I, or you and me, forgive me. You and me, the simp slayers.
Yes.
In lands beyond, they spoke your name with reverence. They called them the simp slayers.
Yes. The ultimate duo.
I'd be great if I would love it though if like a while down the line when we had people who were willing to do fan art, they just draw you and I knights armor galore and dual wielding shotguns and just the simp slayers. Well, I of course would need a shovel. That's how I can do. That's how I do my job. That's it. I'm getting me shovel.
That's it. I'm getting me mallet.
Me mallet. I love that clip so much. I just love Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Of course.
Honestly, though, most of like I miss just I missed I miss Boomerang when Boomerang was like where it was at.
Yes. And then
The
something
child,
happened to it. I don't know what.
it's gone. Is Boomerang still actually
They're
around? Because I
airing
thought that
under a couple of networks, but they're not making any. I think they're part of Cartoon Network.
I'm not stupid, right? Boomerang is dead. Long live Boomerang. Oh, Boomerang! Exclamation point. That's stupid. That's actually dumb. Oh, but
Wait a
apparently
sec. Turner Broadcasting announced yesterday the older brand. Oh
so.
yeah, it's still on Cartoon Network.
All right, but I mean, still, I miss it because that was where Saturday morning cartoons was, relevant and everything. I mean,
Yep.
but now it's like Boomerang exclamation point. I miss it, man.
How Cartoon Network ruined your.
I just, I miss it. Those were such simpler times,
Uh huh.
and honestly,
Yeah, I
like
miss it too.
there were such like, just classics on there. Like obviously, Courage of the Cowardly Dog, which is just hands down one of the best like animated pieces of, or just any, pieces of media there are.
Of course, of course.
And I feel like cartoons kind of get like I feel like cartoons deserve to be upheld as like their own like really great form of storytelling up there with like something that like you know
Honestly, I'm gonna put it this way: it's up there with country music, because the base form of country music is storytelling, and it does it well when it's done right.
I personally don't care for country music, but at the very least I understand the sentiment you're trying to express.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of a primeval form of storytelling in the modern culture that we live in. That's the way I see it.
Understandable. Yeah, we've almost been recording for we've been recording for over half an hour. It's pretty solid.
Yep. Uh,
I wonder what people are doing when they're listening to this.
I wonder too. They could be listening intently and doing nothing else, or they could just be putting it on as background noise, like they do most other podcasts.
Well, I mean, my friend Chase said that he's working on he's been working on a comic that I'm actually looking forward to seeing the completion of. But anyway, I had a funny on the desk.
Watch JoJo.com.
Yeah, I know, it's beautiful. What can I say? It's not. Anyway, I'll put it in the cast so that way people can see the funny.
It's beautiful.
But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, my friend Chase. Yeah, he told me he was gonna give it a listen while he was working on the comic, and I mean, I think that even if people listen to it passively, that's still listening to it.
Of course. That's views.
And I mean, not necessarily.
That's Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's what we should be shooting for. Let's just.
Then let's make it only 5 seconds so they can't skip it because they don't know how long it is.
Wait, dude. We should speedrun the podcast. Sponsor percent. See how long it takes to get sponsored by somebody. Specifically Raid Shadow Legends.
We just put out a podcast episode every day and everyone gets tired of it.
No, that would require it's 30-second intervals. Oh, that would be stank.
That'd be disgusting.
It would be
Here, let me put it this way for you folks. Whoa, whose fucking laptop is whirring like a motherfucker?
That's obvious. That's mine. But hey, we got 3 subscribers.
It's mine.
This is mine. I know the sound.
Oh, okay. It's whirring like a PS4.
Maybe you're right. But, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm gonna shoot Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh. You should record .com
Legends. Gentlemen over.
Show it now. That's meme material right there. Shadow Legends.
Shut
Head down. Shadow
down.
Legends. Shut down.
Down.
Shut down. Oh my goodness. What are we doing?
Mr. Wade Shadow Legends, can I please have a sponsorship?
We need money. All I can give you is $5.
Better than nothing.
Hey, we got a job.
I mean, honestly, I hear that sponsorships, when done right, they're pretty nice. I mean, we're not quite in it for the sponsorships, but I would like to get the world record speed run for sponsor percent.
Sponsor percent speed run.
Yeah, and then, well, I mean, the reason why I can't go past sponsor percent is because if we get sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, they'll beat us. You know it. I know it. The viewers know.
Yes.
Although we can make some money by selling Pitchfork and Torch merch. Oh, wait. That reminds me. Something I wanted to talk about is how long do you think it'll be into our YouTube career, as it were, before we have to record an apology video?
I'd give it a month.
4 episodes later. Well, not even.
No, I'm just kidding. A year. Because we'll get popular, then we'll say something controversial, and they'll be like, what the fuck? Well, and then the apology video will go something like this. Well, you asked for it, so fuck off.
Well, you asked for it, you wanted it, and we don't care.
Yes.
Callous though it may be. But then again, I mean, kind of controversial is kind of what we're slowly building our base on.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point. I think that controversial is why Aaron and I are friends in the first place. I'm a little far from the mic, but I'm glad that it's still kind of, registering.
Yeah. I mean, although they can't quite. I know what I'll do for the thumbnail. It's just you and I just planking in the frame. Oh, wait, what time is it? Or 34 minutes. Oh, you know what that means. It's the middle of the podcast. Time to go dead.
My neck.
Yeah, my arm. Well, I guess we're live again. What a shame.
We tried dying, but it just didn't work. So, hey guys, I think I have something to say. We're Wyoming. No! I'm sorry to break it to you like this.
Wait, that's our apology video right there. That's it. That's it. That's across it, guys.
Yes! I'm so glad.
No. Okay, it's just fade in. You and I sitting there. It's a face reveal video. While we're at it, we say, hey guys, before we get into it, I want to thank our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends, for always being behind our backs and helping us in these controversial times. And I also want to say that we're holding a, in light of the recent issues for this apology video, we're doing a limited giveaway of a Nintendo eShop gift card just for you folks right out there. I promise you that it's real, but we've never done this sort of thing before, so if something goes wrong, you can't blame us. Getting into it, guys. If we're being honest, guys, we're Wyoming. We're Wyoming.
And then the podcast starts. The cue music.
No piano kicks. That would be fun to have like a special piano version of the intro for that moment.
Yeah. So if any of you haven't heard of Snail's House, shame on you.
I've only just barely heard of Snail's House.
Yes,
you shared some content with me.
and he's heard of it because of me. And Snail's House is just beautiful music. That's the way I'll put it.
It's also just just chill.
Yeah, of course, and it has a special power. It's chill but hype at the same time. And as far as I know, there's not much music that does that. And when I imagined myself making like like synth music and whatnot, I was just it's kind of the vibe I got from my imagination. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, I have like Family Tracker from when I tried to learn to make music, but that kind of died. That was dead on arrival. I think I made exactly one track, and let me see if
You
where
still
did I
have it?
put it? Because I slap it up into art files? This is just wallpaper stuff. Anyway, here.
First independent song.
Yeah, let's see what it is. Let's see.
Yep. Let's see if this mic picks it up.
It's just okay.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, but it isn't great either. You can't
Yeah.
bot. You can't bot to it.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
then
so this is where I get nasty with my words. It almost sounds like a cheap video game soundtrack.
and that's okay. I was literally button mashing for most of that, but I like looked up a tutorial and this was the song I was like following. So when I follow tutorials, it's not that bad. But I mean, let me see. I'm trying to think of who the guy is. I think no. Oh man.
Although it's kind of a weird wraparound that we had to our first tangent.
Yes, Ben Burns. He's the guy that I followed. I mean, he made great tutorials. I just suck at making music, and that's just. I think that maybe if I spend a bit more time, I might have a chance at getting just a bit better. But I just don't. I don't have quite the dedication for it that I do for something like drawing, for instance, which I found to be way more of my passion.
Well, I wasn't imagining a system like Famine Tracker. What I was imagining was I would have like like mid powered synth array and I'd have it like record rather than just insert noims.
Programmed Richard.
I try writing my own version of Famine Tracker and it says error, you're retarded.
When you start working on it, you put on a white wig. Randy in the white wig. Back at it again, making the classic tunes. Randall.
Randall.
Oh man, but something that occurred to me that we could talk about that you and I both have a common interest in is band.
Yes.
Specifically, I'm wondering.
And
I'm legitimately curious about what the experience of having a 16-hour Dungeons and Dragons session is like.
okay, so it's definitely not for everyone. Uh, that's the way I'll put it at first. See, we have like a 4-hour power band. That starts at around 6 p.m.
Power band?
Yes. I'm stealing a term from something about motorcycle engines.
Mhm.
Basically, your crotch rockets will have like a power band between 5,000 and 9,000 RPMs. Like that's when you really feel it kind of take off, and the rest of the revs are just to get it there and bring it to the next gear. It'll have like a rev limit of like 13,000, something like that.
Mhm.
And I mean that's kind of like what I think is typical. It's probably wrong. Yeah, for the record, it's probably wrong.
Tangent podcast, but every time Randy gets too close to the mic, the ear rape increases by 500%.
That's all you hear whenever I get close to the mic. Um, uh,
But what does that
but
power
I
band mean?
call it's whenever I use it for like other things, it's where like it's just like with crotch rockets, it takes off. The acceleration brings it up to the speed. And between 6 and 10 p.m., that's normally when we get the most shit done in the campaign,
Mhm.
and when everybody's focused in on it. Because the reason why our sessions never work, Aaron.
It's fine. I can.
I think that noise is even funnier though.
Yes. the Tangent Podcast, but with Black and Inlet. Oh, that would be the worst. Skip it away.
I'm the scat man.
Oh no. But continue. How Power Band relates to
The reason why our sessions never really why we get a minimal amount of things done, Aaron, is because we only have 2 hours. And people, whenever they're trying to focus on getting into character and whatnot, they need a lot of time. I think that might be kind of normal. Uh, if it's not, you feel free to. You all have a one free punch in Randy's face for every time he's wrong.
Oh, we're going to save those coupons for later in the apology video.
Yes, they could beat us to death for calling ourselves Wyoming for our apology video.
It's a cut to the Doomslayer 2016 where he just cracks his knuckles.
And tear until it is done.
Rip and tear until it is done.
Yes, sir. Yes, that's
Sounds like
the superior punch noise.
Oh, speaking of ripping and tearing, a little bit of a side note. Did you see the new Twitch Prime Doomslayer skin?
No. No, instead of Doom, it's Doo-doo. Doo-doo eternal.
Look, behold, the Mullet Slayer. Oh man, let me
Doom mullet.
look at this. It's so bad.
That's so nasty.
Oh wait, there was a better version of it. Ah, look at this. I'll put this in the cast so people can see. Sweet 280p. But look at this. Just like Guy Fieri. Kind of does actually.
Yep.
That's so bad. I only want to get Twitch Prime just to. Oh, those are beer cans. He has beer cans strapped in place of like the little nodules they usually has. That's whack.
That's honestly has a little bit of the.
I think that's a bottle opener instead of his like shish kebab blade.
Wait a sec. What is that?
Okay, I'll download this. I'll no, not save link. I'll save this in. There it is. I'll definitely put this in.
Save image as under open in new tab. Leave it like that. Yeah, funny. Yeah, funny.
Funny sleigh man.
Yeah, funny. Wait, hold on.
I hate that. I'm going to cut that out.
You're not. It's gonna be funny.
Oh no! But yeah, I think it's the Marauder, but Steve Buscemi. Beautiful. We'll say it
Perfect.
on Buscemi Marauder. Oh man,
so beautiful. I'm looking at this for 3 hours now.
3 hours. Regardless.
Man.
Oh yeah, but back to the 16-hour dance session and your general impressions of that.
Yeah. But between between 6 and 10, like around it, off into the from 10 to 6 a.m. and between 2 and 6, like everything just kind of slows down because that's when everyone's like basically, we don't say it, we don't act like it, but it's within our souls. We're done playing. Sorry, go on. And it's still fun, just making fun of people for their goofs and other things like still playing, like actually playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a good experience. It's like I think I personally like it Oh, by the way, I'm doing that tomorrow.
You're a busy boy tomorrow. So am I. I've got editing to do and so forth and so on.
Mm-hmm. In order to bring this to you Wednesday, we must record on Saturday and edit for 7 days straight.
You must edit until Wednesday. Not edit. Wait. Cut and paste until it is done.
Cut and paste until it is done.
No, but in reality, it'd likely just be completely just snip and clip until it's done.
Snip and clip.
Snip and clip until it's done. Oh no, instead of the announcer being like this gruff, like, rip and tear until it is done, it's just rip and tear until it's done.
Rip and tear until it is done.
Yes, hello there, Doomslayer. It is me, Dr. Samuel Hayden. I think that there's a way that we can resolve this.
It's just Mimir from God of War.
Yes, I think that we can resolve this very easily. No. Hey, by the way, which is heavier, a kilogram of steel or a kilogram of feathers?
That's right, a kilogram of steel, because steel is heavier than feathers.
I wonder if they'll be able to, if that will, like, neither of our voices will override the other and it'll, like, be perfect harmony like it was in real life.
Yep. Who knows?
You want to know what would be like an ideal future?
What?
A future where we could have, where you and I have a shared Twitch channel and we just, like, stream video games and stuff.
Oh,
and just chill with the chat. That would honestly be just delightful.
It'd be a golden experience.
Golden experience!
Well, Giorno, if you're not going to scream it out yourself, I'll do it for you. Golden experience!
Waga King Crimson Kononoriyoku. At least close. Should I do the other bit that I'm better at?
Ah!
Fine, boy, I'll do it. I'll say it. Killer Queen, Dyson no Bakuden, bites the dust.
Although, personally, I think that it ends up being a whole lot more forceful and more energetic. Like this. Kira Queen, Daisa no Bakadan, bites the dust.
Yelling out Jofo slogans.
Jofo?
Yeah, that's what people call him.
Oh.
We've got Jojo, Jobro, Jofo.
I see.
Joslo. Just kidding. Coming up on an hour now.
Yep.
I worry though that, like, in recording these that we don't really get anywhere. Which, I mean, in the sense that we don't quite have a complete conversation, maybe.
Well,
like, I mean,
in order to have a complete conversation, we kind of need to be talking for 4 hours, and because of the nature of the Wi-Fi situation at this household that I'm currently sitting in, we're kind of on a time limit here.
Okay, for the next one, am I going to go over to your abode for recording?
I'll keep coming here. It's because I'm like a naturally messy person. There's a kind of stank to my room.
Ah, I see. Well, I mean, it might inspire you to clean a little.
Yeah.
Doing the cast might inspire you to be a better person.
Who knows?
Or at least a more clean person. I think you're already a good enough person.
In some respects, I might be. Easy BCD 2.4. I wonder if this still goes to anything.
No.
Nope.
Oh.
Oh, okay, it does. Nice. This is to try and get rid of the kind of Android 86 thing to where it stopped booting like that. It didn't do shit.
Okay. Also, I'm a bit annoyed. Well, it's not on my phone, but I have a decent. Okay, so in Animal Crossing New Horizons, you can buy turnips and they're like the best. They're the best source of getting money, but there's some caveats with them. Firstly, you have to spend them you buy them on a specific day, that being Sunday from 5 a.m. to 12 a.m. That's your window to get them. and you have to sell them before the next week, or else they rot. And the thing is like I and like you can just sell them to your good old fashioned vendor. But the issue that I run into, as well as many people, is they give you absolutely awful prices. Like I bought them at like 10 like 10 turnips, I think, for what you call it, 10 turnips or like 10 clumps or whatever for like 90 a piece, and they're like, oh, I could buy turnips for like 60 bells a turnip, and I'm like, no, it's like I'm losing money that way. And I there's obviously you're meant to reach out to people and like, hey, do you have the good turnip prices? But I haven't had that luck, and they're going to spoil tomorrow. But I guess the only opportunity or the only option I have, and people are going to stone me for this, but is time travel back to a previous day that what should we call it, day in the week when I at least had an okay pricing, one that I'm not gaining too much money, but I'm at least not losing either, and sell them then. And I mean, I don't necessarily want to vocally say that I'm time traveling because the people in the
Well, you
Animal
said it.
Crossing. Yeah, I know. Well, I said I did.
They're
I
a
don't.
whole bunch of gatekeepers. It's like calling creative mode in Minecraft cheating.
They do. They're their own survival and creative. It's meant to be two different experiences.
Yes,
They're two
but I
different
mean,
flavors that are
you
meant to.
could argue that like having cheats and commands as survival is kind of like
It is.
cheating.
Well, I mean, they're
It
literally called cheats.
Yes, they're called cheats, but they're part of the game.
Yeah.
What will you really call a game feature cheating?
Well, that's sort of the issue that people run into with time traveling in Animal Crossing is that it's not necessarily a built-in game mechanic, but because I mean the way you do it is you just go to your. Oh man, people are gonna double stone me for telling people how to time travel, but I don't care. Uh, is it's just a matter of changing the switch, disconnecting like your switch from telling, automatically updating what the time is supposed to be, and you just manually changing the time, and New Horizons
Okay.
updates itself accordingly. It's like in what's it called? You ever play PewDiePie Tuber Simulator?
No,
Oh,
but same
okay,
deal.
sort of, yeah, just like
I
skipping time
I did it
to.
once, and it
Yeah.
was okay.
I mean, it's not, time traveling in and of itself isn't something that like I do frequently or really at all. But sometimes I make a goofy and I'd rather not. I'd rather undo it, or something along those lines. You get what I mean. But
Yeah,
anyway, it, but doing it that way, like time traveling in and of itself, isn't a game mechanic, and it's against how develop and a lot of the way that the more tame people who dislike time traveling, the way that they explain it is it's against how developers want you to play it because Animal Crossing, at the end of the day, is about patience,
of course,
and
and I think
just
that's
slowly
any
taking
game.
it. Well, yeah.
That's just like no cheats survival in Minecraft. It really is about patience, like doing things like finding diamonds
Mm-hmm.
and building structures. Pretty much all the other Minecraft things, like slaying dragons and withers,
But even at
shulkers.
the end of
It
the
does
day,
take patience.
yeah. But at the end of the day, like sometimes you make a goof in Minecraft.
Yes.
And it's just such a big goof, such an absolutely bone stealing goof that
If you're
you got
trying
to
to
do
throw away stone and you throw away a stack of diamonds.
straight into the lava and you stroke.
Yes, you literally
Ah,
have to.
yes, I've thrown away the diamonds, ergo I must stroke. Actually, probably shouldn't be making fun of stroke. My grandfather had a stroke. It's actually, I think, a thing that it's suboptimal.
Well, see, the thing is, I make fun of things like cancer, and tumors, and whatnot because I killed my actual mom, and I almost was cursed with the exact same thing.
Almost.
Yes, I bonked my head hard enough for it to just be like,
It just,
um, it was a cyst and it was ready to turn into cancer, but nope. She was up there like, wow, that looked whack. I see you're riding your scooter. Want me to just.
you just bonked the cyst right.
No, it popped and it created a blood clot and I almost died.
That's unfortunate.
But I feel like it was meant to be.
Back to time traveling in Animal Crossing. It's not necessarily a game mechanic, but if one needs to do it, one can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of
And
those.
there's nothing to stop you.
Yeah,
That's the thing. Like,
and
if you had to get through things that were supposed to stop time traveling, then I feel like it would be justified to be mad about someone time traveling. There's nothing there. It's just, you can do it.
well, my stance is more or less that it's not harming other people's experience.
Right. So when
Like
they complain about you time traveling to get ahead, they're they're also defeating the purpose of the game in that way.
mm,
It's like you just be modest. If people want to time travel, they want to time travel.
mm-hmm. And I
And
mean,
and
time traveling does remove the amount of things that you can do. I mean, there's a point in Animal Crossing, it's infinite, but there's a point that you lack new things to do. You just
right.
kind of check most of if not all the boxes, and you know it's just more and more waiting, and everyone's bound to reach that point eventually. But time traveling does bring you closer to that. Let's just say crevice, that inevitable pitfall. And I think that in the sense that people are like not wanting to do it for that aspect, it's like that's admirable. I mean, or not wanting other people to risk squandering their experience. But then again, if it ain't harming your experience, like if it's not something that impacts the way that you play it, then you don't really. I hate to phrase it. I hate to phrase it like this, but you don't really have any. It's not really any of your business.
Oh my goodness. It's so good to sit.
Yeah, I know. I don't
I can
like
feel you like 7 miles up.
it in the clouds.
It's not really any of your business. T-posing at people
Or maybe
complaining
saying it
about
like
time travel.
me, just no. The two people. I can see it now. Meme, funny image, like person like in like a little like high fence little area like building and just having a good time. Person like grabbing onto the fence screeching. People who hate time travel. People who time travel or just want to enjoy the game. This is pretty much it.
It and the reason why I kind of don't like people complaining about time travel, and I haven't felt this myself, but I've seen that it's like a form of gatekeeping.
What do you mean by gatekeeping? I forget like the common definition.
It's for example, what? You don't know about Led Zeppelin? You're not a true rock and roll fan.
Ah, I see.
What? You time travel? You're not a true ACNH fan.
Ah, I get what you mean.
It's a form of gatekeeping. It's kind of keeping new arrivals from joining.
I got you.
Yeah, it's because it's really hard to enjoy a game when it just
When the community is.
no.
That's right.
That's I wasn't talking about the community. When you're just playing it and suddenly you don't know why, but it just feels slow.
Yeah.
And I feel like the main like merit to time travel is you can make it not feel slow by just skipping days.
hmm Yeah. I mean, I'm fortunate that I have other games to take up my time and everything.
Right.
So I mean, I don't spend too much time on Animal Crossing every day. I got it like 3-ish weeks ago, I think, and I have about 70 hours logged into the game. A modest amount. I know people who have like 260 hours. It's whack.
Yeah.
But
So you see, the thing is, within the span of one summer, I got like 500 hours into a game called Path of Exile.
oh,
It was something else.
I imagine.
Uh, it was the summer, so it was fine. But if it were if I had gotten into Path of Exile during school time, I probably would have failed that year.
Oh, is it addictive or you just dedicate yourself to it?
No, I loved it. It's not addictive. It's not anything like that. I played my other games too, but it always just came back around to wanting to beat the bones out of enemies within a 10-foot radius.
I respect that.
No, it's like, no, you can't use Cyclone and only Cyclone. Ha ha. Boy, do spin damage.
You say spin damage?
Ha ha. Ha ha. Spinny boy, go burr.
I got you. Oh, what you call it? I actually downloaded Path of Exile the other day. I haven't started it up yet, but I'm thinking about
On
giving it
what?
a Xbox.
Okay, well, that's fine. I'm not going to crusade against you for having an Xbox, even though it is a sign of plebeianship.
I don't agree, but well,
Well,
each their
time to
own.
die.
I mean, have I told you why I got an Xbox One?
Uh, uh,
It it's a real simple story, and you hate to see it, but the main reason why I wanted an Xbox One was two reasons. One, I was used to the 360, but the primary reason was because I wanted to get Halo 5 Guardians. Yeah, and that's a shame because that game was just it was extremely less than optimal. You hate to see it territory.
can it go any lower?
Yeah, shame. But I don't think it's just not it's just I mean, as far as the way it played, as far as I remember, it wasn't like it didn't play bad, but it just wasn't a good game. It just wasn't a good Halo game. It wasn't a good game to begin with. It was
Yeah,
whack.
and that's why I'll never turn to Xbox again, because they really don't have the games. They just really don't. The only other redeeming quality would be God. God. Would be the
The
Gears
console
series.
by the Lord.
God.
Get it then.
Uh, it's the Gears series. That's the only reason why people still get Xbox. But
Whatever.
otherwise, PlayStation, Sony knows what the hell they're doing when it comes to exclusives, and that's the battle they're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Well,
not console. It's not whether your controller is really good, unless your hands are like 6 feet long, like this guy's right here. Jesus, Aaron, I can never understand how big your hands are. I wonder why is it. What did we call it? What did we call her? The
talking about Merriam-Webster.
woman in the um uh, group one.
Oh, um,
What was her nickname?
did we ever give her a nickname? I don't remember us
No,
caring.
not really. But she has a role in the Discord server as you sung loving bot.
Oh, that individual.
Yes.
I think the one name we came up for her, or the one that she preferred, was Jessica.
Ah, yes. Okay. So we just never really used that name for her, but yeah, Jessica. She. What was I gonna say?
Oh yeah, Xbox and
Right.
PlayStation, and PlayStation being.
And see, I was talking about your hands.
Oh yeah, that's how. What are you doing?
I don't know.
An intermission piece by
None
Rand
other than Randy.
Randy Rand.
I was trying to do the Randy Orton. I was trying to do the Yoshikage theme, but it just didn't
Bum
work.
bum 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 bum
Boom, boom,
bum 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 bum.
Who knows? Maybe I should just play it. Check to make sure my phone didn't. But
It occurred to me I could just gift you the orange box on Steam. I could just gift you the Xbox, the thing.
yes,
I have the money.
maybe. Actually, no. All right. Well, looks like it's time to wrap it up, folks. No, I'm just kidding. Um. Well, I said I'd be home in 15 minutes.
Well, yeah, I guess we should wrap it up. All right,
Yeah,
then me.
soon, soon,
We're going
soon.
to. Well, I guess feature me for the.
Oh, it's just carpets, whatever.
All right. Feature me for the cutting. You can cut it up. Finish up the cut in 3, 2, 1. All right, we're back.
Actually, we don't need to cut out that much. Really, it just
Yeah, I mean, there was a
we
bit of
don't need
silence.
we don't need to cut anything really. The silence is part of the conversation. This
Well,
is
yeah,
part of the realism.
well, yeah, but I mean, I don't think that they'd rather. I don't think that they prefer to. I think as far as the listening experience, not viewing, but listening experience goes, total silence isn't quite. Doesn't necessarily. I
Mm,
think that they might like if they're like doing something else, they might like hear just a bunch of silence and they're like, "Moshi mosh, are you still there?" Seeing if something went like if their recording paused or things just ended. So, at the very least, I'll cut. While I won't cut all of the silence out, I'll cut out just you know a little bit of it, so that way it's not just lengthy silence. Because I do
mhm.
agree, a bit of silence is okay, but not lengthy.
Right, right.
Hmm.
That's definitely the way we should approach this. I'm just gonna kind of look at something here.
Would you care to discuss?
Uh,
Since we're moving towards the end of the podcast here, would you care to discuss? Would you care to attempt the segment with cringe or binge? But the question is, who posted
cringe or
which?
binge?
I mean, I posted cringe last time. What have you got that's cringe, my guy?
Well, there's the. Actually, I don't have much. Usually, whenever I look into something, it's because someone's like, "Yo, this is really good." And I'm watching it, and I'm like, "Yo, this is really good," and then I recommend it to at least 5 people before I kind of shove it to the back of my mind. Let's see
Hmm.
what this is. 9 minutes. Okay.
I mean, we've already got a sizable chunk. It's gonna be like 19 minutes, or an hour and 19. But anyway,
hmm Yeah,
you
but I
sure you
want
don't
to
have
get.
anything cringe?
Yeah, I don't. I think you're just going to have to be the bearer.
I don't have anything cringe either, though.
Well,
Is
we were thinking about creating a binge or cringe section of the podcast near the end, but honestly, it
well, I've got it. I've got it right then and there. I was having to talk about
not
a
having
segment.
anything.
Patrick, well, okay, I'll get through the binge part. Series that I watched through recently is it's on HBO. It's called Barry. Really good series. It has the funny, and yeah, it's got Bill Hader, same guy who did Stefan on Saturday Night Live.
Ah,
Completely different
yes.
personality, but extremely funny. Has the laughs. I recommend it. It's worth a binge, but unfortunately, though, yeah, on in having to discuss our plans for the podcast and not having anything. I'm sorry, Randall, but you posted cringe. Ah!
Okay, but in reality, my binge right now, I was halfway through the dub before I had to promise to go to sleep for someone else to eat. Um, they they were hungry and they're like, I don't want to eat, and I'm like, fuck you, go eat. And they're like, well, you go to sleep. I'm like, well, that's the deal that we're making then, and so it happened, right?
Mhm.
Um, and right before I went to sleep, I was through episode 6 of the dub of Ao Chan Can't Study, and before that, within the span of like I don't know 6 hour binge period, I had watched sub anime and I had read the entire manga. It's not very long. The anime needs a season 2.
I got you.
Really needs a season 2, but it is worth a watch. Cute, while also realistic about the crazy situation it creates. And all the while, it's just watching people live. And I
Slice of
know,
life.
and I know, and I know that a whole bunch. It's not really slice of life. It's more slice of reality. But there's no genre called that. It's a rom com at its
Okay,
core, and it does that really, really well.
that's good to hear.
And towards the second half of the manga, things get a whole lot more like wholesomely tense. But then it's also both of the main characters finding themselves. It's kind of like it's what everyone looks for.
In a relationship or just in
No,
a
no,
show?
no. In a show of the kind, the
Hmm.
character development and the build up and the whatnot is all very, very linear. Like first it's the main character finding herself and then figuring out how to project that self onto the main interest, and then from there it's just figuring out what they're going to do about, the situation. um uh it's I just gave
It's good content.
this, it makes my heart feel good. You see that?
Yeah.
It's just good. Like, enough of me talking about it. Like, don't take my word for it because I don't know much English, even though it's my first language. But make sure you give it a watch. It's really worth your time.
Mhm.
And the reason why I can't find any cringe in my mind right now, in terms of cringe or binge, is just because that show kind of, it made me forget about all the bad things.
Yeah.
So good. Although if you're looking for the funny, the dub does a much better job of that. It's
That's
it's because between the same state of sleepiness where my sense of humor is at the very bottom and I laugh at everything, it had my sides hurting a lot more.
I got you.
Yeah. And I barely even got through half of it, I think. So I mean that'll tell you something. It has the funny, it has the wholesome, and it has the real. I just farted in his room.
Cringe.
Yep. I
Thou
just posted
cringer.
cringe.
Well, I guess we can leave it on. At that note, of course, there's any closing remarks, but I think that we can cut it there and ask that you know. Oh,
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
it
kill
happens.
you.
It happens. It happens. It's fine. I'll live.
I should have held it.
No, I'll live. I won't die. I hope.
You just take 60
Methane
necrotic
poisoning. Oh no. But
It's poison damage. What am I talking about? Necrotic.
I guess we'll see all you wonderful people out there. We'll see you next week where we tackle love and what it means to not believe in Wyoming's existence.
Yep. I think we also tackled that this episode, but we'll expand. We'll expand as far and along with anything else we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
It's just how we do things around here. I'm Randy,
And I'm Aaron.
and we're signing off. What's going on here?
What does that do?
I don't know. I don't know what I did.